Good afternoon, Floss Tube. It is Friday, January 20th, and I am back because I have a big finish, and I'm so excited. You know that I always feel like having a party when I get a big finish. This one is the one I had hoped to finish before the end of 2022, but that did not happen. So now that it is my first finish in 2023, I want to be sure you see it. Then I also want to share a couple of whips, the haul that came at Christmas, and no plans or whip parade yet. The weeks since Christmas have been full of recovery from the holidays, taking down of decorations, getting those put away. I was able to have one of my two eyes operated on to have the cataracts removed and an amazing new lens put in, which is giving me phenomenal vision. The second eye had to be postponed because of an unrelated infection, but I am up to have that second eye done this coming Wednesday, and then I will be a woman with x-ray vision, I am proud to report. Very grateful for modern medical advances that allow these aging eyes to see like young eyes again. I promised you a quick view of Lucy. She's in there playing with her ball and having some zoomies right now. If she comes back in here, I'll be sure to grab her and let you see her because she has gotten a haircut and almost looks like a puppy again. So let's talk about this finish and then we'll look at whips. You remember my big toe, the Apostles' Creed. Been working on this for years. Mine was the monochromatic version, but I did use two flosses, not just one. She's choking on running with that ball, bless her. And I have done it on a beautiful 32 count even weave. My light blue with the touch of lavender floss is hand dyed by our friend Samantha, crafting between stitches. And the dark blue is Midnight by the Gentle Art. And you will, when you see this, remember very well where I was when you last saw it. I have not learned to insert pictures of before and after. Maybe that will come in the new year. I don't make any promises. But here is my completed Apostles' Creed. I want to get up close so you can see that beautiful border. And then, if you don't mind, I'll go quickly to the bottom border, which is even more beautiful. Their design is just so perfect. And then I want to show you the whole piece. It is large. You can see, very large. I don't want to think about how much getting this framed is going to cost, but we definitely want to have that done if we can very soon. So I will try, without making you dizzy, to roll this up so you can see the whole thing. There were so many fun things about this stitch. The linen, well, the even weave fabric was the best to work on. This floss was also fun because you got a slight variegation without changing your floss. And then, of course, the hand-dyed blue that Samantha sent me just has perfect variegation. I can't say enough about my big toe and the designs they produce. This is just a treasure, and I will love, love, love reading it and seeing it displayed every day in our home. Maybe I'll give you one more view without making you dizzy. Let me step back. Oh, there we go. Almost. Huge. This may be my biggest piece to date, but it does prompt me to try to complete some of my other very large finishes, or whips, such as Mary Queen of Scots, A Saviour's Praise, the Old Scott. Oh my goodness, that's going to take several years with those specialty stitches. My Laura Ingalls Wilder sampler, that's the heartstring samplery one. Busy. I need to get busy. My little friend is here now at my feet. Not only is she here, but she has brought me her ball. I'm going to pick her up, and she's not going to want me to hold her because she wants me to throw the ball. But I'm going to show you her little haircut. Look at this sweet girl. Look right there. Who do you see? She really has her puppy face again since she's been trimmed so closely. But it hasn't been cold enough for this to be a problem, and that hair had gotten so long. She was the dust mop in the yard and in the house. She wants my attention. But this girl is now walking a mile every day. As long as my husband goes with me, she's not afraid. One stands on one side and one in the other. She's just fearful of other dogs and people. Not cars so much, but anything else. But she goes happily if there are the two of us. 1 mile. With those little short legs, that's a lot of walking. So Lucy says hello. She is spoiled. She got a bath a week after she got her hair cut because we do get smelly. And it's been warm enough here that no problem with that. She wants me to put her down, and I'm going to throw her ball one time. But after that, you will see that she will drive me crazy, wanting me to throw it 1,000,000 times. Oh, I was going to show you the companion piece to our Apostles' Creed. This is the one I did in 2015 for our 35th anniversary. And I'm sorry you're getting reflections from the sun coming in the windows, but this is the same fabric and the same floss, the Gentle Art Midnight. So what we would like to do is use the same frame, if we can still purchase it, and the same mat, or something very close to this. And those two can hang close to each other in the same room. Then, of course, the Apostles' Creed would go this way. And it is much bigger than this piece. But I think those two together will be a very sweet grouping. We're hoping we can get a frame similar to this one. Very simple. The gold with a little bit of, I guess you'd call it blackish antiquing. So that will be the companion piece for the Apostles' Creed. Excuse me, here goes the ball again. Oh my goodness, she's wound up. So, since I finished that one, I had to start one of my new Christmas pieces. And I don't think I've shown you this. Here it is. Remember that we shopped, please excuse me, at Surfside Needle Arts. No, it's in Surfside, South Carolina. It is called Barefoot Needle Arts. Am I going to cough again this whole video? Goodness, people, what else? Lucy, the ball, coughing. May have to get some water. It is called Winter Garden, and it is my first piece by Hello from Liz Matthews. Now, of course, I chose it because of the beautiful blues, but also because of the design. And I have to tell you, so far, her graph, her pattern has been easy to read. I am using the DMC conversion that is provided. And I want to show you how far I've gotten. This fabric was in my stash. I'm almost sure it's a 32 count even weave. It could be a 28 count. But this is where I've gotten. I've got a needle, forgive me, hanging here by the reindeer. I'm going to move that over. Hopefully it won't drive you batty. So I've done to the corner here, right here. That is the corner. And once I get this reindeer finished, I will do a floral motif here, and that will be the whole bottom. I wonder if you can see how beautiful that blue is. Then we have the pink and the browns, and there are 2 greens in there and some gold. It has been mostly all I've stitched this week, and I haven't had a lot of time stitching, but with this much done, if we look at the picture again, I would say that is at least 1/3 of the design done if I finish this floral motif here. So I'm not quite there. This would have to be finished before I could say it was 1/3. And then if I filled in those smaller motifs, I would have half, border. We forgot about the border. But moving right along and very, very easy to follow her design and to use the DMC that she calls for. If you chose to do the other, the specialty floss, I don't have the page that tells me what she calls for. I'll try to have that for you next time. But Mystery Even Weave and Winter Garden Hello from Liz Matthews. Oh, there we go. That's a better light for the colors. There you go. Quite a fun stitch. Then I've been working on my salve at Home Sweet Home Handmade, and I, Natalie, are working on. It's called the Needleworkers, or just Needleworkers Sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings. My daughter is actually starting this piece, so maybe she can be an official member of our salve. She'll have to post on Instagram. I'm going to have to remember to tell her that. So I had started in the middle with the shepherdess. Natalie had started with the alphabet, and if you've not seen her most recent video, be sure to watch. She is finished with her alphabet, I think, and maybe done some of the flowers. That was Lucy. So I have not quite finished the shepherdess, but I moved over to start the house because I needed some mindless stitching. And I want to show you, it's still in my hoop. But I think you'll be able to see pretty well. Put that in front of my face. So her skirt will go down a good bit more, but you can see I've begun the fill-in. Isn't that lovely? And everything up here is finished. So then I started the house. I had a little conversation with Natalie about whether to use the dark gray. And I'm not sure what she's decided to do, but I went ahead with it because my daughter was suggesting that the dark gray of the house was a good, balance, I guess, for the same color sheep here. This is such a delightful design. So I'm working on that when I'm not working on Winter Garden. Also with the DMC called for, does this call for, well, again, I don't have the right page. I think she completely calls for DMC. I don't think there's an alternative for this one, any alternate floss. But anyway, Needleworker Sampler. Started on the house, need to finish her skirt, so much to do. But this one is on that faintly blue hand-dyed fabric that was gifted to me, and it is called Summer Sky. It is a 32 count. It doesn't say who hand-dyed it, but it's just beautiful. It's just blue enough to be a perfect background for that. Okay, a little bit of stash that came from Christmas, and we will be looking at 2 books, and that will be it for today. Really hoping to get a whip parade done and some plans. Just, we'll see how things fall out in the next few weeks. So we got another hello from Liz Matthews. This is her Christmas series of the 12 Days of Christmas. The one I purchased was the fourth day of Christmas because of the beautiful birds and the joy to the world. Look at those colors. So you can either do it as a picture to frame, or you can do it as a little tree. And each one of these days of Christmas, she shows both ways. I'm just thrilled with that creative option. I will do the big piece, I think, at this point. But maybe I will add these other days of Christmas to my collection. We'll see. This is the only one I bought. Now, for this one, she gives you DMC. She also gives you NPI silks. But it's the fourth day of Christmas. The colors are so beautiful. I think this is a stitch you could do any time during the year and not feel like you were stitching Christmas. But excited to have that one. And then I picked up her spring pattern, which is called Berry Patch. Now, you know I love bunnies, and there are more birds. And look at the bee. Is that the hive? There's another word for that structure. Again, lovely colors. And on this one, she only gives you the DMC. I would love to get this one done to have on display in the spring. Such fun. Lucy, stay off of there. She is my toddler today. Silly girl. Then at the shop in Surfside, South Carolina, Barefoot Needle Art, have I said that already? I bought this beautiful piece of Witchelt linen. It is in the color aqua, and it is a 40 count. That color is fairly true, sort of. Yes, that's pretty true. So let's see how much I have. I think this is a fat quarter? Yes, this is a fat quarter. So I am quite sure I have something put in my stash that would fit this beautifully. And it is just, this color is one of my favorites. So I cannot wait to pick something out to go on this fabric. It will have to be after I get another finish though, because you know I'm supposed to be finishing things. Remind me of that. One more pattern. This was not in the Christmas stash. Let me think why I ordered this. Oh, it was because I ran out of the Gentle Art Midnight before I finished the Apostles' Creed. And my local needlework store did not have any more Midnight. They were out. So I ordered it from 123 Stitch, got it within 2 business days. It's amazing how quickly they ship. And, you know, the floss didn't need to travel by itself, right? So I ordered another one of the History of Sheep patterns. I had stitched one of these with Natalie. And this is number 2 by Jardin, Prive. So now I'll just need 1 and 3, I guess. You can stitch them all together, or you can do them separately. This is the one we finished. This one right here, you'll remember it. So now I've added this one, which goes right here at the bottom. And this is the one that I need to order Vintage Country Mocha, because I had one small piece of Vintage Country Mocha. I'll have to see what the count was on that one. I want to say 28 count. Anyway, I would like to go ahead and keep using that fabric for each one of these, and just really think that would be the cutest grouping ever. Whether I do pillows or I do small framed pieces or flat folds, if I ever learned how to do that. So there, that's the stash. And do you know I used almost the whole skein of the new skein of Midnight. It took a lot of floss, and I'm very conservative with my floss. So audiobooks have been keeping me company, And I have two to recommend, and I hope the picture comes up. Okay. Sarah Miller is the author. This is about Marmee from Little Women. And Sarah, the author, gives her own take on the Little Women story from Marmee's perspective. This was really worth listening to. If you are a fan of that classic or any of Louisa May Alcott's books, you will really enjoy Marmee. The other one I listened to was her other book, Caroline, which is about Ma Ingalls. And I don't have that picture here, but they're easy to remember. Marmee and then Caroline. I enjoyed Caroline very much as well. It was a little more, what would the word be? Well, it went into a little more detail that might not be as acceptable to some people about her relationship with Charles, her husband, more even than Marmee's did. But both were beautifully written and riveting. They kept my attention, and to read that story from the perspective of the mother in both stories was just a good January heartwarming read. So I recommend those either to read or to listen to. I had seen Marmee in a bookstore when I was with my grandsons up in Myrtle Beach, and it's a thick book. I'm assuming is very new, maybe came out in 21, 22. So when I got home, I was checking to see if I could get it either from the library in the book form or in the audio book form, and I was able to get Marmee and Caroline that way. But again, Sarah Miller, S-A-R-A-H, Sarah Miller, and both especially good. So I just wanted to throw that out there since those had been keeping me company while I was stitching and also while I was walking or doing chores. I hope your January has gone well. Hope you're avoiding all the stuff that's going around, flu, upper respiratory, even COVID still. Just take good care. Pull your stitching out as often as you can. Thank you for coming by today. If you've been with me a long time, send me a comment. Let me know how things are going on with you, what you're working on. And if you're new, consider coming back, consider subscribing and liking and all those things we do on YouTube. I'm not as regular filming as I'd like to be, but the more I can stitch, the more I can share. Happy end of January as we go into February. Hopefully I'll see you before Valentine's Day. Take good care. Thank you again for being here. Bye-bye.